Hi, today I'm with Gospodinova. She's known as the Empress of Marketing in the coaching industry, and she's a multifaceted business owner. Like she's a business, brand, mindset, leadership, confidence, and money mentor. So I'm really excited to have her today. I chose her because she really have like a genuine energy. She's standing out on social media with her empowerment and her unique A factor, how she loves to call it. Welcome, Ayo. How are you?
Thank you so much for the amazing intro, Andrea. And I'm feeling amazing in the energy and in the space of another goddess. It always feels super beautiful. So thank you for
Oh,
having me.
thank you for being here. We are starting our week. It's like Monday morning for both of us, and we are starting our week with this podcast. We have an amazing, productive week ahead. I'm launching a new course. She's having new offerings coming in. So we are really excited to jump right into a discussion that will inspire you about, our unique money story and business strategy and success recipe. So let's start with the money story. That's my favorite question to start because it's interesting how we all are have our unique backgrounds, and from that background, we can see how our business is related to that, how our success recipe is related to that. So tell me, you growing up. First of all, where did you grow up, and how did you grow up? Like, did you have some inherited limiting beliefs around money, or what was your money story growing up?
Thank you so much. That's a really, really good question. Well, I'm originally born and raised in Bulgaria. And I left Bulgaria when I was 19 and I started traveling all over. So in the last 10 years, I haven't really been in Bulgaria. But when I was growing up, I'm very fortunate because I grew up in a family that was financially very stable. My parents they are business owners, so they own a pottery shop, and all I've seen is two hardworking people making their money, being independent, being salespeople, being also creative. So for me, that was a great influence because first of all, I saw the freedom of having your own business when I was a child. I didn't realize that when I was a child, but now growing up, I can see how this influenced me because I have always been with entrepreneurial mindset, and I always wanted my freedom. I've been in huge corporations like Microsoft, National Geographic, Reuters, but when I was working there, my freedom was so important that I couldn't even agree to sign on a normal employee contract. I was always a freelancer, I was always a free contractor. And I think that had a lot to do with my family and the idea that freedom is so important. So, number one, that was the thing. And number two, with relation to money, it was exactly that I am in charge of making my money. I create my economy. So I was seeing my parents working, producing, being creative, and I could see that money flows. Now, that was the beautiful story of it. So, that was the positive of me constantly being in an environment where money was not truthfully a scarcity. We were very well. My family is also very well known in Bulgaria because of the talent that they have. So, I had this understanding that money is good, money is positive. It's good to have money because it allows you to live and have an expansion in your life. But growing up and seeing what was the negative was that I was taught that in order to have money, you need to work a lot. So that was what I was seeing. So I was seeing my parents working their asses off, like working 16 hours a day and having no weekends. And even though there was freedom, so for example, if someone is like, hey, I can't open the shop at this time, and you didn't have a boss, there was still this, okay, we need to work hard. And um, it was exactly like working hard equals making a lot of money, which I could see later on growing up that that was affecting me. And I have been in the hamster wheel of I need to work 16 hours. And that is very against my human design because I am a reflector. And reflectors,
Wow.
if you're listening, you should not slave your ass and you should not work hard. Like, you have to find a job and a career that allows you to take it nice and slow, because you're going to go against your human design and you will have difficulties accumulating money in your life. Like, note that I didn't say might make money, I said accumulate. But the last thing, and you, whoever is watching and is from in listening and is from Eastern Europe, you probably know that in that area, like, there's a lot of negative energy around money. Like, money is evil. People who have money are from the mafia, and they are politicians, and they're corrupted, which is what the what it was like growing up. Like, when I was growing up, it was exactly when the communism fell, and a lot of people that became rich quick were people who were not dealing with very, like, clean, squeaky clean industries, and that was like in the air. And obviously people here, because there's poverty, like, people in the States or in Canada or in Western Europe, when they say that they're struggling with money, they can't understand the struggle that people go through here. And of course, the struggle here is a result of, like, continuous inheritance of limiting beliefs, and we create our reality. So if people start thinking more positive about money, things will change. But pretty much that is how the environment is here. And every time I come back to Bulgaria, I can't stay very long because it drives me insane. Like, on the queues, I hear people complaining that this is expensive and that is expensive. I don't use the word expensive, like, it's not in my dictionary. I don't say this is expensive, I can't buy it. But when I come here, I hear these words. I hear people being like, oh, this and this, and oh, how could you spend so much money on that? How could you do that? Like, even my own relatives, when they hear the way I live and how I spend money, they are just mind blown. It's not in their head, and for them, a certain amount of money is so big. Where in my head, and it's because of so much rewiring, nothing is too big. Like, it's just something. It's just a digit. So pretty
Mm-hmm.
much that's how my background influenced how I feel about money right now.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I took notes because I had so many questions and gems from what you said. First of all, what I noticed is that indeed all the women entrepreneurs that I had in the podcast, growing up with parents entrepreneurs, they kind of were raised both with this desire that I'm not going to work on a 9 to 5. I'm going to
Mm,
have my own business. I want to change the world through my own company, but
right.
also with this innate, tendency of the hustle paradigm and associating money with hard work and going again, doing the same in their businesses, how they saw at their parents, and
Mhm.
just overworking until they got into a point of burnout or disconnection from the body, and they realized, okay, this is just a limiting beliefs I saw my parents. I can create my own schedule, and I need to do some rewiring and just understand that that's not the only way to create a business. And it's interesting for me to see how it's correlated. Also, so cool that you are a reflector. I never met one. I'm a projector, and I
Oh, you
work with.
also need to take it slow. Projectors, reflectors, they just need to take it slow. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. That's why I learned human design. Like, I
Mm,
started my business overworking as well, like with a hustle paradigm, 16 hours per day without weekends, because I was like fed up with this mentality of in the building stages of your business, you need to overwork, you need to like not have weekends, to not have free time, because this is the only way you can have money. And until I got to a point of burnout and I saw that, okay, I have money, but I don't have free time. I don't have a life. I don't have, like, I don't even, know my partner in details. I need to
yeah.
take a break off. So I learned about human design. I had a session, and everything that that guide said about projectors resonated with me so much. Like waiting for the invitation, not chasing clients. Like I always hated to go in people DMs and ask them, they want to work with me, or chasing offers, chasing anything, even partners before in my life. So it changed my life. That's why I decided to also take the courses on human design, and now I add them into my practice. Like we start in the beginning, let's see which type are you, so let's see
So
which type of
important.
business strategy to create for you, because
Hmm.
if you're a projector you need a strategy, if you're a manifesting generator you need another strategy. So
Exactly,
cool that you
exactly.
integrate that as well in your work. And I'm from Romania, so we were neighbors, by the way, like Bulgaria.
Exactly. So we had pretty similar paradigm of what money is and
Yes.
how are people with money. For me, the most like even now when like sense it, I'm extremely picky with energy and people and how they see things. As a reflector, the reflector is always like they reflect things. So if I sense this energy, but for me it has always been so repelling when people are like, the minute they know you have money, it's like there's something wrong with you. Like there's something not right. So what the hell is going on? Or there's jealousy. There's another thing huge. I don't know how it's in Romania, but in Bulgaria, people are extremely jealous of people with money, and they
Yes.
find reasons for this person to be bad. Oh, she has money because she is dating a sugar daddy, which is not the case. I am my sugar daddy. Hello, thank you. And or she must have, her family must be rich. Like my family is not rich. They were pretty good with money, but my family is not rich. um, or she must be sleeping with her boss, or she must be having this and this and this, or something like that. It's never like, the first thing is never like big up. Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, that energy is so blocking, and I think that like a lot of people in this area blame it on politicians and all that, but it's pretty much the collective consciousness. If the collective
Yes.
consciousness changes, things will change. It's not your politicians. It's the fact that probably 5% of the population here has positive feeling towards money, right?
Yes, it's the same in Romania. You're right. Like it's the collective scarcity mindset or envy or externalizing the reason why you have money. It's either like you got lucky, you had
Yeah.
somebody else giving you money, or you did something illegal. And it was like me and my sister, we are both money mentors because we
Hmm.
had a lot of work to do around money.
Right.
And we don't talk with our friends about our how much we earn, because in the beginning when we said, like, we lost a lot of friends. First of all, when we opened our businesses, like, they were like, oh my god, you're going to bankruptcy, don't do that, keep your 9 to 5. And when we started and we had success, like, oh my god, like, it's not okay, you're doing too much money, it's something. And we lost a lot of friends. And now we're like, in a way, we know our own work, our own money, our own things. And we have international friends which we talk very natural about money, but
Right.
still in Romania there are a lot of work to do around this. And what was your work around money? What things did you try to heal your money mindset?
Well, first and foremost, when it comes to work around money, the first perception that I had to truly embody was the understanding that there's nothing wrong with me. Okay, so I don't have to really heal something, I don't have to work on something, because when you money does not give a fuck. Sorry about my French. You will probably have to censor that, but money doesn't care if you've worked on your money trauma and blah 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 blah. So I had to understand first that there's a lot of examples in the world of people who have accumulated huge riches without doing the work. There is something else that I had to understand. I had to understand how money operates, like what is the frequency of money, what does money like, what does money, where does money go to. So for example, I had to become really actually logical and understanding how money operates, because in all honesty, working on money wounds and all that, yeah, it kind of worked, but there's universal things about money. So, for example, understanding a concept in the world that hard work doesn't necessarily mean making money, but having an idea that is unique, yes. So it takes some kind of work or even spirit, like planting that idea in you. So you allowing for that to happen. Removing resistance. Resistance is something, money doesn't like resistance. So if there's resistance, money is like repelled. So I had to learn how to work around resistance. So whether if it's resistance around receiving it, whether if it's resistance around, okay, so right now I am financially in a situation which is a little bit challenging, not to resist the situation. So how do you resist it? But making it more negative. Understanding where money flows. Money flows where there's energy, where there's attention, where there's something happening, where there's something um, revolutionary, interesting, on time. And that is what I truly worked on. It was not so much of trying to heal the fact that because of my paradigm and where I come from, in my experience in my life, this is personally my experience. I'm very detached from my human experience, and I'm more like, I understand that I am a universal being that is came here. I'm here on earth, and just because I'm here on earth doesn't mean that I can't be that being that can have be do everything I want. It's almost like being a Bulgarian and going to Canada and being like, now I need to act like Canadian because I'm in Canada, right? No, I will be Bulgarian. I will still be Bulgarian. Like it's so difficult to get it out of me, right? So pretty much the same with money. But if there's one thing that I need to pinpoint about money, is understanding what money wants. Like money is like a lover. Like imagine, I call it Mr. Money, like Mr. Big and Six in the City. And so I call money Mr. Big, and money and relationships, they are pretty much like it's very similar. So understanding, for me, the biggest point was understanding how money operates. Because money, uh, sometimes you can look at it as money has its own identity almost, right? So probably that was the biggest thing in my life that changed the game.
This shift, like it's not a huge money mindset work or the years of therapy, but
No.
it's just this little shift that happened that you're like, oh, okay, now I understand, now I feel it, now it's shifted my reality.
Yeah.
And as you started to have this shift, what changed in your reality? Like, did you created your business, or how did you created your business?
So my biggest shift in terms of money and how I accumulated money happened last year when I generated seven figures in my business. I thank you. I wouldn't say that when I created my business, it was related with my paradigm around money. So before I officially became a business owner, I was making really good money. So I was in my 20s and I was already making consistent five-figure months, which for a 20-year-old in a corporate job was pretty good. So I will have consistently 20, 30, 50K months in my job, which was pretty good for me. So it wasn't the money factor when I started my business. The reason why I started my business was more of the knowing that I have a mission and I'm sent with a mission and I'm not executing and embodying my mission in my corporate. I was, but not fully. So that was the main factor. I didn't do any specific money work. I've always been like I've always been very fortunate because I've always understood that there's money, there's plenty of money. I've never felt struggle around money. So I think that this is because I've started self-development at a very early age. Like I was 12 when I started reading all the books after my father passed away, and it didn't make sense. So I was like, I need to understand. That's another thing about the reflector. They need to understand why things happen in their life so they can move on. So the biggest switch to me came last year when I had 4 consecutive multi six figure months and 100% close rate of all my sales calls, conversations, and it happened in 4 months. And that's why I'm saying, and I'm really drilling this in the brain of all my clients, that you don't have to be 100% a match for money. Like there are all these trendy words now. You need to embody the frequency of money, and you need to be an energetic match, and you need to heal all your wounds. And you no, you don't. I was literally after a breakup, after COVID, in my worst physical state of like doubt and fear and not feeling comfortable, but it was just like boom, 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 boom. And the reason for that is because I mastered one main thing that I teach my clients and I teach people in my courses. It's called unconditional alignment. So what is unconditional alignment? You've heard about unconditional love, right? So unconditional love is when you love something without any reason to love it. You don't have a reason. It's like when a child is born, the child is born just because it is. It's not cleaning, it's not cooking, it's not doing the dishes, it's not making money, it's not loyal, it's not faithful, it's not anything. It just exists. Unconditional alignment and money are like super tied together because again, money goes when the energy is good. So you when you are aligned, doesn't matter what happens in your life, so you can go through a lot of things, but you're not expanding, so you're again choosing the path of least resistance. You are not expanding the negativity of the situation. You're in acceptance, you let it go, you surrender, and then when you don't have that pressure around money, money just comes. And it's true, money goes where there is money. So once you get into the thing, don't jump out of it, because a lot of times when you are producing and you are accumulating and you're generating more money, a lot of people get into self-sabotage. So for me, the biggest thing was continue riding the wave, basically.
Mhm. So you are saying, like, let's say that you have a seven-figure month, and then in the next month you don't do anything. You are not making any money. So what's happening in the coaching industry when we have this momentum and then we don't have it anymore? Like we start panicking and we start, like
Yeah.
trying to change things and trying to add guilt and blame and shame and everything. So unconditional alignment is basically understanding that that's just another part of the wave, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to ride that as well, not attaching to it, not adding all the pressure, and just waiting for the next high wave to come, right?
Something like that. It's like surfing. I surf in Costa Rica. It's pretty much the same. And also, it's understanding that sometimes life happens in a lag. So, what I've experienced in my life, and I see it with clients, there's like a 3 month lag. So, I have a lot of people coming to me and they enroll and they start working and they expect results in the first month. The issue with that is that it's not probably going to work if the previous 3 months you've been a negative Nancy and you've been like always procrastinating, self doubting, and all these negative things happening. So probably you will not see that, but you will see it in 3 months' time. So I see the 3 month lag is a real thing. So if you have a drop, so if you have a high and something happens, and if you have a low, I would not say to judge yourself, but truly be honest. Like when it comes to money, there should be a lot of transparency and honesty. So you need to know yourself. And you have to be in a position where you can look back and you can say, okay, well, this is happening. Is there self-sabotage that is happening? So you could make wrong decisions that affect that. So that's why I often say, when it comes to business, you do need to understand also not only the woo-woo stuff, but you do need to understand the dynamics of a business. So I have 2 degrees in business, so I understand also the meat part of it. So not just the bones, but the meat part of business. So if you have a low, is that because something in your strategy was not the way it should be? Did you create a business plan that is not supporting you to scale? So it's not just your energy, it's not just the wave. Let's just say you just shot yourself in the foot. And it happens. And that's okay. You learn. Okay. So next time, make sure you are ready for scaling. And if that doesn't happen, then what else is happening? Like identifying first the real things and then identifying, am I self sabotaging? Am I like what is it? And self sabotage is so many things. Like it could be the sense of you're not feeling worthy, you don't feel like you deserve, you don't love yourself enough, and so many other things basically.
And I recommend my clients to do the same with understanding their manifesting recipe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what did you do last time when you manifested money? How were
Mm,
you thinking? How were you
mm,
feeling? How were you showing up? And this is how we decode, because everyone
yes.
manifests differently,
Yeah.
as you said, last year you manifested after a breakup.
Yeah.
What were you doing? Were you feeling? And that's it's not only about the why are you not making money this month, but why did you make money last month? This is how we decode everything, by asking questions.
I love
And
that.
thank you. I
I
love
love that.
everything. I love everything you said. And you seem like you have a really badass practice. And I am curious, what services do you offer? What offerings do you do? Group programs, coaching, courses? What are you offering right now to the world?
I have a complete business suite, and as I call it, my candy shop. So I often like to joke with that song of 50 Cent, "Welcome to my candy shop." So I do have group coaching, my signature program, Path to Profit, which is exactly. I was inspired last year when I hit the 7 figures in my business, and people were like, "How did you do it? How did you do it? What's the secret? What's the one thing?" And I'm like, it's not a one thing and it's not a secret. It's the compound effect of a lot of things. And then I crafted actually the roadmap to how did I get to 7 figures and how was I able to also sustain the energy of that kind of success. So I do have group coaching, and a lot of business owners love this program because it truly represents step by step what is the path to accumulating more success and more money in your business. I also have one on one coaching, which is extremely important because there isn't another method as successful, that's what I think, than private mentorship. Private mentorship is ideal for people who want to quantum leap and get results super quick. So I do have one on one, and my one on one is pretty much customized based on the client that lands. I don't really have a specific niche. My niche is people who want to get shit done. So it's people who are committed. They come into the container. Energy is super important. I have A players who are really onto something. Like the common denominator with people who I work with is people who really want to change the world, just like me. So I think I attract them because I am a match to that. I work with men and with women because I used to work with women only. However, the last 2 years, I'm attracting men a lot. And the synergy and our work together is super powerful. So I also have a more feminine program, which is called the Empress program. And the Empress program came to be as you introduced me in the beginning. Like I got this name in the industry as the Empress of Marketing, the Empress of Marketing. And for those of you who don't know me, but I truly embody the image of an empress because there's a lot of women who embody the archetype of a queen, the archetype of a goddess, but what is truthfully an empress? And the empress is that woman who is transitioning from a stage of constantly having to be a warrior and a queen, so going for a fight, claiming what is hers and pushing it, to an empress. And if we look at the history in an empress and how she operates, she's the typical reflector, basically, who is just like playing chess, and she's telling what pieces to go where. So she's so powerful, and that is exactly what I am creating in that container. And I also have other small containers, but if we can summarize my work is extremely related to two main factors. So I have one leg is deeply rooted in business and planning and strategy and funnels and all not the so sexy parts, which are very, very important. And that's my background. And the other one is deeply rooted in energy, understanding the laws of the universe, working with the unseen, working with intuition, working with feminine, masculine energy. So this is pretty much where I am, and I am basically in the middle.
Wow, I love the two topics that you're calling in your business, and I love that you also called in more men. And I am currently I set an intention recently because I realized I had my podcast is called More Money in Women's Hands, and
Mm,
I was resonating a lot with another man entrepreneur from the online space. So I said, do you want to come in my podcast, More Money in Women's Hand? And he was like, yeah, let's go. And from our talk, I remember how fun and how the duality of masculine and feminine plays this polarity in coaching. And I said, oh my God, I miss so much working with men. So I decided to shift also and attract more men in my practice because, as you said, the work that can get done on this part, it's really deep and powerful.
Well, we do need each other. We do need
Yes.
each other. The masculine and the feminine has to work together in order to create what we want to create. I feel like separating. There's nothing bad with it. If you feel strongly pulled and aligned to work with women, by all means go and do it. If you feel like that with men, by all means go and do it. But for those of us who truly feel okay, we can operate in both spaces, I think is a true blessing that we can experience that.
That's right. And as a closing thought, what would you recommend with entrepreneurs listening to us right now that want to raise their wealth consciousness? What a piece of advice, if you would give one advice, what would be that?
I love questions when I have to give one thing. It's like my favorite question, but I will try to give one thing. I will say that the most powerful thing to raise your wealth consciousness is your ability to allow yourself to have the unshakable faith that anything you want, you can have it. So just get out of your way. You are in your way. So that's one thing. Just get out of your way. Okay? Get out of your way. And the second thing is hire a mentor. Thank you. Hire a mentor. You need help. Okay? If you want to get out of the trenches, if you want to make things work faster, you will get there. Like we all have it. But there's a shortcut. And for those of us who have been there, it's so much easier for you to go and drink directly from that source of knowledge.
Yeah, and it's really connected what you said. Like you said one thing and second thing, but I feel like they are the same thing.
Yeah,
Like a mentor will help you get out of your own way because
yeah.
that's why I don't like the word blocked anymore, but that's when we feel blocked. It's when we get in our own way and we don't see it past that. We don't have the overview, the higher perspective, and we get
Mm,
blocked in the little things, as you said, like self-sabotage or resistance, or all the shadows that are coming up in the business field, because business equals healing. So with the for you to get over that, and not only get over that, but also quantum leap, as you
mhm,
said you're doing in your one-on-one, and I am doing the same with
mhm.
entrepreneurs, is that you can pull somebody out from the trenches
Yeah.
and help them with your 2 years 5 years experience go on the other side.
Mhm.
And I love everything you said, Ayo. It was a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you for listening to us, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.